It's your Rabbit Raccoon here, finally back from all my stinking appointments. Oh, it is Monday and it is 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Buffalo, New York. Wow. Um, you know, it's hard enough when you have to go to multiple appointments in one day. But when you've got chronic illnesses, it's twice as hard. Um, for those of you that have chronic illnesses like fibromyalgia, lupus, um, cancer, heaven forbid, and I'm sorry for those of you that do have lupus or cancer, fibromyalgia, um, MS, anything. I mean, I could sit here and list them till the cows come home, and um, it'll never quite cover. There are diseases out there that I'm just learning about from people and that I had never heard of. If you've got anything, especially anything with a lot of pain, and you're going out for say appointments or um, even a social outing to the movies, or just see friends or go to the park or go shopping, anything like that. Um, it's really, really difficult. And a lot of people that don't have an illness or, anything that deters them, that they have to plan ahead. They don't understand what those of us that have issues, have to go through to just plan to get out the door. A lot of times people get frustrated with us because, at least with me, because I have to plan way ahead of time, or I have to plan spur of the moment, you know, or I have to cancel something that I've planned a long time ago. And it's seen as, oh, God, not again. Kim's canceling again. I can't help it. Sometimes I get a flare up or I'm so exhausted that I can't keep my eyes open and I'm just like this. Or the pain is so intense, I can't even move. If I have a bout of migraines, I can't go to a concert. For example, my daughter and I had been planning to go to a concert for the Used. They were here in Buffalo, and we'd been planning and planning, and I was so excited to go. And at the last minute, my pain was so bad I couldn't go, and I felt absolutely horrible. And she wanted to, get a wheelchair and take me, but it wasn't wheelchair accessible, or where we were going to be wasn't in a safe spot or something. And she had to, take my ticket and take her boyfriend. That was disappointing, and I actually cried over it because the band, I introduced her to the band, to their music and stuff. Um, I've had to miss my son's baseball games. Paul and I have had to cancel dates. Um, I've I've had to miss appointments for my son. My husband's had to go alone. I've missed family outings. Trips to see my family have been torture because I get sick on the way back and I'm in a lot of pain on the way there because it's a 6-hour trip for us. And even taking breaks out of the car, in and out of the car, it just kills me. Um, and I don't think a lot of times people believe us when you say these things to them, and it really hurts. Yeah, I'm making up this excuse. Yeah. No, I don't want to spend time with you. I think that the people that are in my life, if they know me at all, they know that if I don't want to hang out with them, I'll just tell them, I'm sorry, I really don't feel like hanging out today. Or not even, I'm sorry. It's just, nah, this isn't a good time. And I would I've become such a homebody. Like I realized that today. We stopped at Walgreens. Paul wanted to check on some scripts, and I wanted to find some hard candy. And going in the store, I froze for a minute, and I said, "Well, I don't want to go out down this aisle until you come over here, Paul, because I felt weird for being alone for too long." And pop-ups were coming on my phone, reminding me, check the cat's food, make sure she has food and everything because I forget a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of reminders on my Echo at home that pop up, and when she reminds me at home, it reminds me on my phone. And I was like, I miss my cat, I miss my dog. So I was out of my comfort zone. Um, I wonder if other people experience this, that are, at home a lot. I'm sure you do. So when I plan to go out, I have to fill um, my backpack, my rocket backpack. He carries at all times mini pads, dental floss, little finger disposable toothbrushes. He carries emergency migraine medicine, pain, um, pain meds, Lactaid, anti-diarrhea pills, Rolaids. Um, he carries um, wipies. He carries um, Band-Aids. He carries fidget toys for anxiety, which he also carries my clonazepam, also known as Klonopin, for anxiety. He carries my action figures. He carries my wallet, all my emergency numbers, which are in my phone. He carries napkins. He carries pens, a journal, a book that my younger sister Darcy gave me about Sisters Are Forever. It's a cute little book that I carry. My worry dog, um, some hard candies, some gum. Um, let's see, what else? A bunch of stuff, and I carry a water bottle. My fold-up cane will fit inside of the backpack if I pack it right. These are all things that I have to keep with me, and it sounds crazy to someone that doesn't understand. I have to keep a lot of things on me in case something happens. Um, you never know. I have to make sure that my phone is charged or keep a charger with me just in case. Something could happen. Um, if I get dizzy, I have to have my cane with me. I never go anywhere alone anymore because, well, on the rare occasion I do go alone, but I'm scared because the fibro fog gets serious. It really does. And I found a really good article that I will probably put in my new blog that I'm working on. But I literally forget where I am. And a lot of people say, just use Google Maps. Well, I would if I remember that I have Google Maps. I'm telling you, it gets really bad. Sometimes I don't remember if I take my meds, so I have to make sure to check off my meds in my phone on my meds app. If I don't take my meds on time, it has a timer and then it'll go off again. If I don't check my meds off, I really don't remember if I took my meds. Sometimes I look in my medicine box thing that I have here, for the days, and I took the wrong day's meds. Luckily, it's the same thing every day except for Tuesday. I have one extra med that I have to take. Um, it's insane. I forget. Sometimes I forget what things are. I mean, something as simple as a box. You could stare at it for hours and go, "What was that called again?" I forget names. I forget what someone said to me. Um, Talking on the phone becomes difficult because I cannot concentrate. It comes to the point where I can't differentiate between what is my ADD and what is my fibrofog. You know, sometimes I'm screwed no matter what I do. It's all flubbed up. I just, oh, I scared my cat. Um, so, you know, I just wish that my wish would be that people that don't have issues would understand that those of us that do have issues aren't making this shit up, that it's real, that we have a lot of bad days. And I get tired of, when someone says, "How are you?" I'm okay. A lot of times I find I'm answering "I'm okay" because I know that they don't want to hear how I am. And I've done this experiment a million times where I've said, "I'm really doing shitty. I'm in a lot of pain. My knees are on fire. My back feels like it's broken. My hands are swollen. My eczema, my psoriasis is all over. I could peel layers of white flakes off my head. Whatever." You could describe you could just go on a rampage of how crappy you feel. Or you could just, generalize and say, "I really feel terrible. I'm in so much pain." And, you know, they they could be the nicest person in the world. After a while, they really don't want to hear it. And, who honestly, after a while, I really don't want to say it anymore. I get sick of saying it as much as they get sick of hearing it. So, and living at inside the house 3/4 of my life, I don't have a lot of interesting things to talk about sometimes. And so it's like, "What did you do yesterday?" I talked to my cat and dog. I brushed my dog. I got some new action figures and I watched a lot of Netflix and Hulu. What did you do? Well, my kid had soccer practice and my husband took me out to dinner and blah, 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 blah. And and I'm happy. I really am. I'm not jealous of anybody. I do wish I could get out more. And sometimes, and when I'm feeling good, I take advantage of that. Um, but I am generally happy for people that are not sick. And I don't ever wish that, someone else had my illness. I don't wish it on anybody. Um, when I wasn't sick, you know, I I do wish that, of course, that I wasn't sick, but I would never wish this on anybody. Well, there are some really bad, evil people out there, but those people I would just wish dead. But not anybody that, like people that I don't really care for. These are just evil people, but they're not, they're really bad people, like murderers and shit. But that's totally off subject. Um, but I never would want anybody to go through any any illness like this. It's so debilitating at times, and to try to make someone understand it, unless. And some people have even seen it up close. They've been here and they've seen it. They've seen me go through something like a migraine or where I can't move and I have to go lay down and stuff, and they still don't believe it, that it's real, that it's really happening. How can you not believe it? Would I be putting on a show for you? I mean, I suppose there are people out there that do it. There's such thing as hypochondriacs. I'd rather not be taking all this medication. Um, I can get attention other ways. I dress weird and carry a raccoon on my back. That I think would attract enough attention. I don't need to be sick. This is not the kind of attention that I would want. Um, I wish it were easier. I wish people would understand when we have to break a date or reschedule over and over and over again. One time I went almost a month without seeing my daughter. See, she lives outside the house. She lives in her own place. And she likes to ask ahead of time, would you like to get together on such and such a date? And I'll say, sure. And I'm excited. And then I get sick. And then she says, okay, how about on, say she's planning for Monday, and then she has Wednesday off. So she says, okay, I understand. How about Wednesday? Great. And then Wednesday comes, and I can't get together because I'm still sick. So I've been sick Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. How about Sunday? Okay, great. So that gives me, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to get better. And Sunday comes and I'm still not better. So then the same shit happens the next week and then the next week. I mean, I have literally gone a month. Yeah, a month without seeing her before. And, I can understand why people get to the point where they go, well, gee, I don't think she wants to see me. But I would hope that if someone thinks that, they would actually ask me. And instead of wondering, or go around with their feelings hurt. Um, I think it's really important if you have a chronicle illness that, chronicle, if you have a chronic illness, that communication stays open between you and those people that are important to you. Even if you have virtual friends, that they understand, like if you disappear for a little while, if you're laid up in bed. I try to, excuse me, I have a very few close online friends, and I think they know pretty much that if I go away for a little while, that I'm really sick. And I think now I pretty much tell them, I'm really sick, and try to keep them updated, uh, like I do with my sister. And I try with my mom. Sometimes it's really hard when you're waiting for test results on some things, and you don't want to tell your family until you know exactly what's going on. So you're not trying to be aloof or secretive or sneaky, but you also don't really owe it to anybody to tell them anything. You really don't owe it to anybody. And they are pecking away at you and pecking away at you. And then finally you just blow up and say, look, the blah, 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 blah is going on. And then they're like, oh, why did you just drop that bomb on me? Well, and why are you just telling me now? You know, I wasn't even going to tell you, but you pissed me off. And then they're asking all these questions about, well, what did, and you're saying this is why I wasn't even going to tell you because I don't even have an answer yet. Uh, uh, right in the head. I I have boundaries and I like to wait. Especially when you're sick all the time. Sometimes I'm learning that some things go with the FM and they overlap. And some things that feel really awful end up being nothing, which is great. But it's scary at first, and it's like, oh, that's just pain from FM. Oh, okay. It hurts really bad, but it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, thank heavens. But then some things, like this crap with my gallbladder, which is not a life or death situation, don't get me wrong, but You don't know what it is, and then you have all these tests going on. So you don't want to tell anybody until you know exactly what it is and what is going to come of it, whether you have to have surgery or they're gonna zap the stones or have you pass them or whatever they're gonna have you do. You don't want to tell anybody because you don't know anything yet. And it's like, well, let me let you know in 2 days. Oh, I haven't gotten the test results back yet. Oh, hold on, let me see. Nope, sorry, don't have the test results back. Nope, nothing yet. Ugh, I can't stand that. I don't want to know every little tiny detail of what's going on in your life until it's something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know every little medical procedure you're having unless it's really condensed in something important, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like if say you go in and you have a mole, okay, on your body. And the doctor wants to do a biopsy on it. Now, I don't want to know about the mole unless it actually ends up being cancerous or something, you know? And then if it's not, I still don't want to hear about it. Oh, I had a mole. It was a little bit scary, but ends up it was nothing. You know? I mean, I would only tell that to a very, very close friend or my sister. I wouldn't be telling my whole family about it. Oh, I had this mole. Everybody, listen to me. I had this mole, and I was really scared, but it was nothing. Yeah. I don't want to scare anybody like that, needlessly have them go, well, you better keep an eye out for more, You could have something. Why? Just why? You know? I don't know. I don't want to be an alarmist, but I don't want to be so shut off that nobody knows anything, which is the total opposite, which is what my sister Christy does, my older sister does. And then she has the nerve to say, well, I never hear what's going on with anybody unless I talk to mom. And you're going, oh, so it's okay for us not to know what's going on with you, but we have to dispel every little thing that's going on with us. I don't work that way, and it's not a competition. You know, I just don't spill everything out there. I and I've also learned that in order to keep a relationship going, I'm not going to just keep putting all my energy into a relationship and then just waiting and waiting and waiting for that return of energy. It takes energy from both sides all the time, you know. I mean, sometimes, yeah, one's got to give a little more energy than the other one. There's some times where one has to work a little harder than the other one, but not all the time. You can't always be doing the work in a relationship, any relationship with, your spouse or your friends or family. After a while, you got to cut them loose. That's the only way, you know. The only people that are worth it are ones that are willing to work for it too. Um, it's kind of like, you know, would you keep beating on a beehive where the workers don't want to work? No, you get no honey that way. Why would I keep steaming away and cleaning out this hive if the honeybees don't want to work? Get out there and work those flowers. I planted those flowers for you, and you're not even working them. What the hell? There's a breakdown somewhere, and I'm not going to work anymore until you make me some honey, bitches. All right, that was a terrible example. I can't really think of a good example right now. Oh, excuse me. My dogs are tired. I'm just so tired from all this sitting today. Um, you know what? You know what you should try sometime? If you spend a lot of time at the doctor's, something fun you might want to try if you're bored is um, there's this whole theory, and it's also more of a there's a theory that goes with it that I'm not going to get into, but there's also this observation that when you're in a doctor's office and there's all these chairs, people will not, unless you're together, people will not sit next to each other if there's lots of chairs, okay? They won't sit right next to someone else. So what I like to do is sit next to someone, even if there's lots of chairs. I didn't do it today because I wasn't feeling good. But you pick someone, and you go, oh, that guy would be really uncomfortable if I sat next to him. So you sit in the chair right next to him. Especially if they're on the end and there's no space on the other side of them. One time I did that next to a woman and her husband was on the other side. They ended up being really cool people. They were telling me about how they just got back from a trip to England. They live in Buffalo. And they had just gotten back from a trip to England and they were telling me all about their trip. And it kept me busy until I had to go in and see the doctor. Oh, excuse me. It was really, really cool. It was the most enjoyable conversation. I like to have conversations with people, as you can tell. I will talk to just about anybody. But there was this guy today. He was like 6'2" or 6'3", and his name was James. Now, if I would have been the lady that called him back, I would have went, "Hey, Jimmy." I always want to be the person that calls the names because it would have been so funny. Because hey, Jimmy, and then Kimmy. I, it's so boring at the doctor's offices. And do you notice now they've replaced a lot of the really cool magazines with Men's Health? Although Chris Hemsworth was on the cover. So I didn't get to look at it, though. Paul dragged me away. But I was like, Chris Hemsworth's on the cover of Men's Journal. I don't know if it's the newest one, but I was like, ooh. I stole one of the last ones because it had John Krasinski on it. I think that was a Men's Health Journal too. But yeah, try it sometime. Sit next to someone, especially if they're on their phone, their cell phone, and kind of just lean over. Uh, oh my gosh, it's just this one woman. She was in the waiting room before us. And when we sat down, she was already on her cell phone. And she didn't have it silenced, so it made a lot of noises, when she got texts. It was always going off. Well, when we came out and we were in line to check out and schedule our next appointment, she was in line ahead of us. And while the receptionist was trying to make the appointment for her, she was still on her cell phone, her face buried in her cell phone. Uh-huh, uh-huh, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. And, oh, that's so rude. Cell phones you should have to take a course in etiquette before you can get a cell phone. I think that sometimes. Actually, I think that a lot. That there should be, uh, some sort of etiquette thing with cell phones. Um, like I took I think it was AT&T or something. The pledge not to text and drive, but it also goes with no walking and texting. I can't do it at all anyway. So I took the pledge and I won't do it. I won't text and walk. Um, it shows people actually walking into bushes, running into walls, which is hilarious because they're such idiots. Tripping on sidewalks, almost getting hit by cars. As funny as it is, it's a pretty serious problem. It's as bad as driving, driving well, texting and driving hands-free is dangerous too. Um, so, there's a lot. I totally got off subject, which makes me really mad because it, my whole thing was about um, chronic illness and, going out of the house. Also, I always have an escape plan, and Paul knows when I'm ready to go, I have to go. And if people don't understand that, I almost thought about carrying little business cards with me with little, you may think it's rude, but I have a chronic illness, and with that comes the need to escape or something. Something clever. Because we carried, when Cameron was much younger and he did a lot of what some people would consider odd or rude in restaurants, we carried little cards with us that had some information on autism, and we would leave them on the table for the waitresses, or we would hand them out, to people that would be like, oh, not that kid, you know, and it would give them information and then send them to the Autism Society of America. And yeah, maybe I should get some cards. It's like a get out of jail free card. You never know, could come in handy. I might be onto something there. If you have any comments or questions about what I was originally talking about, you can add it down below or get in touch with me. RabidRaccoon73 at yahoo.com, or hit me up on Instagram. Um, I'm going to close this for now. It makes me so mad that I went off subject a couple of times. Damn it. But I'm going to discuss this even more in better detail sometime, and you're going to go, oh, shut up, Kim. But, oh well, it's important to me. All right, I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.